Hey guys, it's Marissa, and today's video is going to be my emergency room visit. I recently had another emergency room visit, and so I thought I would share it with you guys. So as you guys probably already know, a couple months ago I put out a video called My Emergency Surgery Story, and in this past year mostly I've just had a lot of health problems. So my last health problem, and again, I'll link that video up here if you guys haven't seen it, but my last health problem that I was mainly in the hospital for had to do with my stomach, and that was really bad in itself. But this one was almost even a little bit scarier than that, because this one had to do with my face, and that's like something everyone can see. You can't really hide that. So I woke up, this happened about a week ago, by the way. So I woke up and my face felt really weird. It felt like half of my face was like numb. I got up and I had gotten ready to film with my sister because we were filming a video that day, and I looked in the mirror and this entire half of my face was completely red. Like, I can't even explain it. And at first I was kind of like, well, maybe I slept the wrong way or something, maybe it'll go away in a few minutes, because how sometimes when you sleep on your side or something, like your face can like get red from the pillow or something. And half an hour later it was still there, and I literally I was touching my face and I couldn't even feel my left half of my face. This was on my left half, by the way, and it was so scary because this half was perfectly fine. I could feel it, and the texture of this half of my face, I can't even explain to you guys the texture. It almost felt like sandpaper. I hadn't done anything to this side. There was nothing I wasn't using any new creams or anything, but even if it was an allergic reaction, I don't think it would have just been on this half. I think it would have been everywhere if it had been some sort of skincare product. And so I was just really scared, and I couldn't feel this half of my face. There was no way I could have even put makeup on to film that day, and it was just I could barely even talk, I could barely even smile. This half, when I smiled, and when I looked in the mirror, this half was symmetrical to this half. It wasn't droopy as it can be in some health cases, but it felt like when I smiled, it felt like this half of my face was drooping and melting off. So my sister and my mom were really freaked out. I was freaked out, and they took me to the emergency room right away. It must have been the longest wait for an emergency room ever. It took several hours to be seen. In the meantime, I was freaking out. I was crying. I was just emotional. I was an emotional wreck. So I finally saw the doctor, and he seemed really confused by the whole situation. He was like, are you on any medication? Have you been drinking all night? Are you on drugs? And I was like, no to all of the above. And he basically didn't know what it was. He couldn't tell me anything about it, and he ordered a bunch of tests to make sure that there wasn't anything seriously wrong, and that I didn't have a stroke or Bell's palsy, and these are both conditions where half of your face can actually be paralyzed, and so he wanted to make sure that there was nothing seriously wrong. So I had an MRI, which is where they look at your brain, and then I had an EKG, which is where they look at your heart, and then I had a blood test, which is where they look at your blood. And all of them, I had to wait so long, by the way, just to get the tests and to find out the results of them, because it wasn't like they mail you the results like they tell you right there, but I had to wait a couple hours for the results for that, and everything came back normal, and I was really happy that I didn't have anything seriously wrong, but it was really confusing at the same time. Doctors are always like, yeah, you're too young to have a stroke, but after my last situation with my stomach, I don't really like to take any chances. So eventually they ended up just telling me everything was fine, and to come back if it got any worse, or if this half of my face started drooping or anything. There was no sort of medication, and that there was even no knowledge of really what I had, and that he had never seen what I had before. So I got home and I basically just monitored how my face felt over the next few days, and it would feel slightly better each day. It did take, I'd say, probably about 5 days before it went away, and even still, this half of my face, I can definitely feel a difference in texture to this half, but just in terms of the numbness and the redness, just for everything to kind of subside, and I was really scared that whole time because I was like, what if it never goes away? The only explanation that I can really come up with is, you know, when I was in the hospital, the doctors kept asking me like, do you get migraines? Do you get really bad migraines? I do get pretty bad migraines, and actually the next day after I had left the hospital, the emergency room, the next day I had gotten a terrible migraine, and so I was kind of thinking that, well, maybe that was it, you know, because that's kind of the only explanation that I really have. But even that, it's a little bit weird of an explanation because the headache would have come first and then I would have, you know, had my face go numb. And I'm still just kind of trying to figure out what it was. I still hope to one day find out what was wrong. Honestly, I'm so glad it's over with, and I'm so glad I can feel this half of my face. Literally the whole time I was in the hospital, and Shauna can attest to this, my sister Shauna, you guys know her, but the whole time I was in the hospital, I was like, what about YouTube? I need to film today. I'm so upset about YouTube. Like, I was freaking out about YouTube, and my sister was like, Marissa, make sure that you don't have a mini stroke. Like, forget about YouTube for an hour. Like, let's focus on your health. And I was just like, no, I gotta film. And I was like thinking like, what if my face never goes back to normal? Like, can I cover this with makeup? Like, what, my precious YouTube, like, this is what's shown on YouTube. Anyway, so that was my emergency room story. I really hope you guys enjoyed hearing about it. You know, hopefully nothing bad is happening to you guys and that you guys are healthy, and thumbs up if you guys don't want me to die. And, you know, it really helps me out. So thumbs up if you guys, you know, support Marissa Rachel's health. Thank you to everyone who does. And subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And you can follow me on Instagram at Miss Marissa Rachel. I mean, I'm sure there are gonna be some people that thumbs down just because they're like, I hope her face gets messed up so she can't do YouTube, but you know, whatever. And I love you guys so much. Mwah! Big kiss, and bye guys.
We're in the emergency room. Yes, we've been in the emergency room for like, I don't know, an hour. I curled my hair for nothing. And I'm here too. My hair looks good. And we were supposed to film today. Just checking yourself out.
No, I'm sick too. Oh, bring us pizza.
How about now? I feel like I look like I'm dying this lighting. We're gonna create a TV show all about our hospital adventures. Hospital adventures. How's your face feeling? Still numb? A little bit.